हरि ओम्। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीं प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। Bhagavad Gita, a conversation with God daily. In this series, today, chapter 2, shloka number 17. Avinashi tu tadviddhi yena sarvamidam tatam vinasham avyayasyasya na kaschit kartum arhati. Krishna has been telling to Arjuna, death is just nothing, like how this body undergoes various stages, childhood, youth, old age, like that death is also a stage where the body just gets totally destroyed and the soul gets a new body, another body. So an intelligent person will not worry about death. And today, avinashi tu tadviddhi yena sarvamidam tatam. Vinasham avyayasyasya na kaschit kartum arhati. And he said that Atma is eternal. The Atma is eternal. It is always there. You cannot destroy the Atma. That Atma pervades everything. Yena sarvamidam tatam. Everything, whatever is there in this universe, it is pervaded by this Atma. And that Atma is so indestructible. You cannot destroy the Atma. If something is present everywhere, how can you destroy it? A pot, there is a pot, and if you just break that pot, inside there is space. Before also space was inside the pot. Now after destroying the pot also, the space that was inside the pot, it remains. Similarly, this Atma, it is present everywhere. It totally pervades everything. There is nothing other than the Atma in this universe. So, you cannot destroy that at all. How can you destroy something that is present everywhere? You just cannot destroy it. It is always present inside, outside, everything. So it cannot be destroyed. You call it avinashi. Vinasham avyayasyasya na kaschit kartum arhasi. And it is without any change. It neither grows nor it gets depleted. The Atma was just 2 feet height yesterday. Today it has become 3 feet. Or I took out something from the Atma. So today it has become less in quantity. Or it has become great today. I thought the Atma is very great. Now I don't think it is that very great. Nothing. It doesn't grow nor does it become less. It is always changeless. Because the Atma has no organs. If the Atma has 2 hands, 2 legs, then we can say you cut a hand, then now it does not have a hand. Or if you cut 1 leg, then now the Atma doesn't have a leg. No, it doesn't have any organs at all. It is present everywhere. It doesn't have any organs. So you cannot reduce it in size or you cannot destroy it by taking anything away from it. Nor in another way you can make something less. There is a person called Devadatta. He lost all his money. So now Devadatta has, his stature has reduced. Devadatta has now become poor because he has lost his money. In that way also the Atma cannot become less. Because the Atma doesn't possess anything. The Atma cannot say this is mine, because everything is that only. When you are everything, you are the car, you are this chair, you are this camera, you are this book, everything, you are only everything. Then how can you say this is my book? You are that book, then how can it become yours? You are that. You are verily that. The Atma is everything. Whatever is present in this entire universe is just Atma. So it cannot call anything as mine. When you don't have anything as yours, nobody can take it away from you. Your possession cannot be taken away from you. So in that way also you cannot destroy the Atma, you cannot make it less or you cannot deplete it of anything. So nobody can either deplete the Atma or increase the Atma, change it in any way or totally destroy it. Nothing is possible. Next shloka. Antavanta ime deha nityasyokta sharirinaha anashino aprameyasya tasmad yudhyasva bharata. Antavanta ime dehaha nityasyokta sharirinaha. Then he continues, this Atma is nityaha, eternal. It is always there. Anashinaha. Just now we said it cannot be destroyed. It cannot be destroyed in any way. First he says nityaha, it is eternal. Then he says it cannot be destroyed. Or both not the same means there are 2 types of destruction, right? One is this body, it gets destroyed during death. After death you cannot see this body. Now somebody, a person called Priya is sitting here, her body. After death this body will no longer exist, totally destroyed. And there is another type of destruction which you if the body is afflicted by some disease, then we say, oh, that's all, my body, it's gone. Totally gone now. It's not what it used to be. My health is destroyed. My beauty is destroyed. My body, it's gone now. That type of destruction, that type of some change, some type of a loss to the body. So, by Anashinaha, he means that you cannot affect the Atma in any way. First thing is, it is eternal. It is always there. And then the next is, you cannot affect it in any way. You cannot cause any loss to that Atma. That Atma, previously also he described that. Now again he is saying the Atma with such qualities. Then Aprameyasya. Aprameyasya means that which cannot be described or determined by any factor. Generally, Pramanam means Pratyaksha Pramanam. Whatever you see, whatever you hear. They are all proof. I saw with my own eyes. It is a proof. We say, right? Witness, eyewitness. So it's a proof. Pratyaksha Pramanam. By any of these Pratyaksha Pramanam, you cannot determine the Atma. You cannot explain the Atma. Because whatever you see, whatever you hear, whatever you taste, everything is all, nothing can be said regarding the Atma. The Atma is different from all this. It is totally something Vilakshanam. It's something totally different from all these things, what we generally see or hear. So it is Aprameya. It cannot be determined or explained by any Pramana. Then we may say we have a Pramana called the Shabda Pramanam. The scriptures, they explain the Atma. That's why we are now learning the Bhagavad Gita. Because, oh, I learned something about the Atma. I want to learn Vedanta. So we are learning the Bhagavad Gita. Then you say, it cannot be understood by any Pramana. How is that? Means, the scriptures also, they don't say the Atma is like this. The Atma will be this. From the scriptures, the Atma, knowledge of the Atma, you don't get it. The Atma is already there. The scriptures just keep saying certain things about the Atma. And they say, this is not the Atma, this is not the Atma, this is not the Atma. And when you keep listening to these scriptures, one day suddenly, the Atma Swarupa, it just shines forth. It is already there. It just shines, that's all. You have a Spatika. The Spatika stone is colorless. You bring a red hibiscus and place it near that stone. That stone becomes red in color. It seems to be red in color. And when that hibiscus is removed, then again that Spatika, it looks colorless. That red color is gone. So that Spatika, it was already there. It just appeared to be red because of the effect of the red hibiscus. Now when the red hibiscus was removed, it again became colorless. Similarly, the Atma is there already. The scriptures, they don't actually create the knowledge of the Atma or something. It is already there. But by listening again and again to what is said in the scriptures, that ignorance which actually veils the Atma, that is removed and the Atma shines forth. That ignorance, that red hibiscus is removed. Now the Atma shines. So it actually shines in its original form. That is, so it is aprameyaha. It cannot be determined by anything. Nothing can actually describe or say the Atma is like this. The Atma is of this nature. Nothing can say that. Such Atma. Antavanta ime deha. So, that Atma's body, that body only is Antavantaha. That body only has an end. Atma, it is always, it is eternal. It cannot be changed in any way. You cannot say it is like this or like that. That Atma's body, that has an end. How there is a mirage, and from a long distance you think there is water there. A very hot day, in the road, at a long distance it appears as if some water is there, but when you go near you see there is actually no water there. It was just an illusion. When you come near and you see, actually you feel, oh no, there is no water here. Like that, you think this body is there. You see so many people, you think those bodies are there, but actually when you go nearer and nearer to the truth, one day you will realize that those bodies are not at all there. Only the Atma is there. Those bodies don't exist. So those bodies will come to an end. They will cease to exist. They were not there. They are not there at all. You only think they are there. Like how in a dream, we dream of something, and as if a snake comes, it bites us, so frightened, we just get up, and then after we get up, oh, it's just a dream, no snake, nothing, I'm fine, nothing, it was just a dream. So what all we saw in that dream, everything now disappears. It was just a lie, it was not there at all. Similarly, one day when you realize the truth, you will see that what all you see, all these bodies, different forms, different names, Bhishma, Duryodhana, Dronacharya, Kripacharya, whom you say, oh, they will get killed, I don't want to kill them, you say, you will realize they are all nothing, they are all just your mind's illusion. They will just disappear one day, like things we see in a dream disappear. They don't exist at all. You will realize that one day. So, just disappearing things, antavantaha ime dehaha. These bodies are just going to come to an end one day. They don't exist. They are not true. Next shloka. Yayenam veti hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam ubhautau na vijanito nayam hanti na hanyate. Next. So now Krishna has said nothing exists. Separate forms or names, these bodies, they all will come to an end one day. They don't exist at all. They are just like something seen in a dream, or they are just like a mirage, an illusion. What exists is only the Atma. And one who thinks, ya yenam veti hantaram, one who thinks this Atma is the killer. Because now Arjuna thinks, oh, I'm going to kill, I don't want to kill them. How can I kill them? How can I kill them? Arjuna says, one who feels like that the Atma is the killer. Because Arjuna does not exist. Only the Atma is there. To see that Arjuna exists is just ignorance. That Atma is going to kill one who feels like that. Or yascha yenam manyate hatam. Somebody there in the battlefield may feel, oh, I'm going to get killed. I'll be killed. What if I get killed in this war? I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Somebody may be frightened like that. We are all frightened of death, right? Who is not frightened of death? Oh, I may die one day. I may die one day. We are frightened. Or we are frightened, oh, my relative is going to die. My father is going to die. My mother is so sick. She is going to die. So, we are all afraid of death. One who feels, oh, this is going to get killed. This is going to get killed. Both, they do not know anything. They don't realize the truth. Because na ayam hanti na hanyate. The Atma does not kill and the Atma cannot be killed also. We already saw the Atma cannot be destroyed, it cannot be killed. When something cannot be killed, then where is the killer? There is nothing to kill at all. Then how can you kill somebody? So, if you think, I am going to kill somebody, that is also foolishness. And if you think, oh, I'll get killed, that is also just foolishness. The Atma can never kill, nor the Atma can be killed. With this, we'll stop for today. We'll continue tomorrow. Hari Om.